welcome to Athavan News. It is Saturday, 19th February 2016, and this is Devaraja Mayuran with the news highlights of today's English dailies. Let me first take a look at the news highlights of today's Daily Mirror, whose headline says, "Another CEB grid substation explodes." Deepening the present power controversy, another main transformer at the Ceylon Electricity Board grid substation in Kottagada exploded yesterday afternoon, making it the second crucial transformer blast within a week. The explosion had occurred around 2:30 p.m. yesterday, followed by a major fire that engulfed the transformer, the CEB sources said. Fire engines from Negombo and Manuvangoda were sent to the Kottagala grid substation located on the Manuvangoda road via the Bandaranaike International Airport. The fire units had managed to bring the fire under control after a short while and prevent any spreading of fire to other transformers of the substation. The closest reason behind the explosion was assumed to be the excessive load of electricity being delivered from Norachole coal power plant. Another news says CEB violated the transmission license, says PUCSL. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, abbreviated to PUCSL, has told the Ceylon Electricity Board that the latter has violated the transmission license on maintaining an uninterrupted power supply throughout the country 3 times in the last 6 months since September 27 last year by way of island-wide power failures. PUCSL Chairman Salia Matthew has written to General Manager CEB MC Vikramasegara saying that it was the responsibility of the transmission license under Condition 30 of the transmission license to maintain an uninterrupted power supply throughout the country. Another news says Ranil to meet Chinese President and PM. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping during his visit to China to discuss bilateral relations, it is learned. He is also scheduled to meet his Chinese counterpart Li Keqiang. President Xi visited Sri Lanka during the previous rule in 2014 and even participated at the function to mark the inauguration of the Colombo Port City project. He also announced the elevation of Sri Lanka-China relationship to a strategic partnership cooperation. After the new government was formed, President Xi, in his congratulatory note to his counterpart President Maithripala Sirisena, reiterated China's commitment to build on the strategic partnership cooperation. Currently, diplomatic authorities both in Colombo and Beijing are working out arrangements for the upcoming visit. According to sources, the visit will take place at the time Sri Lanka is trying to revive its ties with China. Another news says lunar eclipse on March 23. The first penumbral lunar eclipse for the year will occur on March 23, 2016, a day after the maiden full moon Poya Day. Board member Arthur C. Clarke Institute of Modern Technologies Professor Chandana Jayaratna said yesterday. Professor Jayaratna, who is also a board member of the International Olympiad on Astronomy and Astrophysics and Professor of Physics of the University of Colombo, said the eclipse would begin at 3:09 p.m. on March 23 and end at 7:24 p.m. Sri Lanka Standard Time. With that story, I just moved to the news highlights of today's daily news, whose headline says, "Fire explosion affect power in Jala, Kottagada." As we all already knew the story, I just moved to another news that says, "Alleged kidney racket, 8 Indians remanded." 8 Indians allegedly involved in a kidney racket involving Indians and Sri Lankans were yesterday ordered to be remanded till April 1 by Colombo Chief Magistrate. Another news says former Ragna Langa officers used employees for election work, says Gotha. Former officers at the helm of the Ragna Langa security firm were responsible for engaging company employees for election work during the last presidential election campaign, former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa said. He said this giving evidence before the Presidential Commission investigating fraud, corruption, abuse of power, state resources and privileges on March 17 under questioning by High Court Judge Jihan Kulatunga. Another news says Vimal, 6 NFF activists granted bail. National Freedom Front leader and parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa and 6 other party activists who appeared in courts for allegedly providing leadership to a protest which blocked the main roads at Bautaloka Mawatha, causing disturbance to the people and the normal flow of traffic, were yesterday ordered to be released on bail by Colombo Chief Magistrate. With the story, let me jump to the news highlights of today's Ceylon Today, whose headline writes, Mapping out anti-government strategies, Mahinda Rajapaksa at Jaw meet next Tuesday. Leaders of the joint opposition are to hold a special meeting with SLFP Kurunagala District MP Mahinda Rajapaksa on Tuesday in order to discuss future measures to be taken against the government, political sources said. The news below it says Young UNB group springs into action. The UNB Young MPs group has decided to take immediate action to thwart all protest and offensive campaigns conducted against the UNP SLFP unity government by the joint opposition and by those affiliated to it. And the news below it says SLFP split imminent. Due to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party MPs being divided in their loyalty towards current leader and President Maithripala Sirisena and former leader and Kurunagala District MP Mahinda Rajapaksa, it is most likely that the party could face a serious split in the coming months, SLFP sources told this newspaper. Finally, a news at the bottom says killing of abusive husband in Australia, Sri Lanka doctor appeals conviction. A Sri Lankan doctor in Australia who was found guilty of manslaughter in the trial into the death of her abusive husband Dinendra Athukarala in Geraldton in June 2014 has appealed against the conviction, the West Australian reported. With that story, I am just wrapping up today's news highlights. Join us tomorrow too. Have a nice day. Goodbye.